Markets have been moving, so I want to do a little update here coming into the weekend. Dow and S&P's been getting beat up. Bonds across the world are getting hit hard, which could lead to some interesting markets over the weekend, early next week. Might get a little contagion worries, a few trading strategies blowing up, who knows here. So just want to go through these charts again. In front of us, we've got the Wyckoff wave. We had talked about it meeting resistance on its uptrend line here and coming into overbought. That really hasn't changed. Looks like we need to continue to fall back. We do have an uptrend channel here marked that might catch us tomorrow. This market's being a little stronger than the Dow Jones and the S&P, which I'll show here in a minute. Wyckoff wave growth, more of a NASDAQ type index. It's gotten hit hard here. We had said and continue to mention being short this and trailing stops. We are down here at oversold, which has checked the previous declines, and we have broke the lows. So might get some type of reversal down here somewhere, but I think probably going into the weekend, it would be best to continue to stay short. Let's go to the DIA, the Spider Dow. Let's show it here. We got an uptrend line marked here that we're really just in the middle of the range. Technometers neutral 44 after coming off overbought. So we think sell-off continues in the Dow. Then we got the Spider S&P 500, which is weaker as well, and coming down to its more major uptrend line in the solid blue. Technometer 42, so it looks like more downside there. Major selling has came into the bonds, which we've talked about on all these updates, trying to be short, staying short. Technometers down at 30.36, which is major oversold. We are short somewhere down here we're going to cover. We've been short for our mutual fund trading strategy for quite a while, and somewhere down here we're probably going to get some type of sideways or ABC back up to relieve the oversold condition. So, but again, you're going to the weekend, there could be some talk about some foreign bonds, continuing to show some issues. So, still could be a good thing to stay short here just a little bit longer. Now let's go through some of the wave components. We've got Boeing. A little bit of selling last 2 days, but not much. Still making this what could end up being a jump across the creek here. Might give us a buy signal on some type of pullback on some further weakness. Bank of America, we've talked about being long, and we are long. Usually bank stocks rally in a high interest rate environment, so that's why you had the strength the last few days, which got us back to small profits. Technometer still oversold, so we would expect this to still try to work higher on Bank of America. As always, guys, do your own research. This isn't investment advice. Just trying to teach you the methods of Richard D. Wyckoff. We own the original institute started by Mr. Wyckoff in 1931, so just continue to try to spread the word. We talked about Bristol Myers. We thought maybe it'd meet resistance here, and it has, but definitely no type of major pullback that could have been expected a little bit more the last couple of days. So still holding in there. Caterpillar. We've talked about not liking this one. It did rally a little higher than we expected. Some weakness coming in here. Technometer is coming down to oversold. So still liking better on an intermediate term basis, but one we still think looks a little heavy. Ford, there's not going to be much to talk about here. Continuing to show weakness. Looks like a dead stock. General Electric, we had tried along and took minor losses. This one obviously is acting much better the last few days. face of the market's coming down. It's coming back into its trading range. So looks more of like a spring and a test. So it's thought this one still could be maybe the worst is rung out, but probably better long possibilities out there than General Electric since it's been so bad. But definitely an oversold stock. IBM, we talked about this having a rally back and meeting resistance. Is coming under much more pressure again. Technometer 45. IBM we do not like. AT&T, talked about being long. Up here, kind of just testing its previous resistance at the automatic rally. We still like the way this one acts. Technometer is closer to overbought, so not buying here, but one that we think could be all right here in the near future. Union Pacific, strong holding. Still trading sideways here, giving up nothing the last 2 days. Because of that, Technometer still up to 47. So once the markets firm up, Union Pacific ought to do well. Walmart, one that we've liked for higher prices. Still holding in pretty well. We had the oversold Technometer. The market's weak, kind of dragging it back down. This is one we think could probably work higher from these levels. ExxonMobil. Again, looking for some type of pullback to previous resistance. We're getting that. Technometer 48, so we let this one pull back closer to that 83.67 level before looking at it. Dow DuPont, one that we said maybe we would now shy away from in a downtrend, and continuing in that downtrend. Now let's go over some of the stronger holdings we've been liking. We talked about Regeneron. We did just get stopped out yesterday with small losses, trying to enter along. But this one is still one we want to keep our eyes on. It can still come back here and make a more meaningful last point of support. Technometer come down to oversold. So that one we're still looking for longs. Cheesecake Factory, we've been short. Not much weakness the last 2 days. So probably just lower stops here and see if it can break down below this 51 level. Still some red bars there. Then let's go over some of the recent ones we've talked about. Usual Wingstop, still holding sideways. Acting very well, looking like reaccumulation, wanting to go higher. Tractor Supply, we kind of like longer term. Back down to uptrend line, and also done a sideways correction. See Technometer 29. So Tractor Supply could be looking decent here, I believe. Twilio, one that we've liked, coming down to its support line as well. A little weak today. Technometer's oversold. So this will be interesting to watch here in the next day or two as well. We've talked about the junior gold miners, GDXJ. Some of them are being pulled down with the journal market, but we like the way gold and silver acts here. So we still think these could resolve to the upside. So we expect higher prices there. Let's look at UUP, the long dollar ETF. We've been short, not giving it up the last few days. So still think the dollar's made a high, but we need some type of reversal somewhere down here to turn this thing lower again. I know some people's been looking at advanced micro devices. Let's throw that up here. We've got a technometer down at 41.43. This is one I would expect to find support somewhere down here, or 25 level, and probably go back up and maybe test the highs, maybe some type of trading range action. And then that's it. I got a few symbols missing. My developers are working on a few things and knocked out some of my recent symbol ads. So I think that's all for now. We're going to be spending the weekend kind of looking for some longs to look at. You know, one I had on my radar was Twitter. That one's back to previous support down here at 28. Has a downtrend line in place. It could try to break. Has held up here last few days. So that's what I'm looking at, but nothing there yet. It's pulled back to the 50 and 61% pullbacks of the recent rally. So again, looking for some longs, but markets look a little weak. Let's see what Monday brings. Have a good weekend.